Wow. And you'll tell me if it's right or wrong, or if are we right or wrong? Somebody tell us. Was it Charles Whitman?
I see you.
Was it Charles Whitman that would give us the orientation?
Charles Whitman always does.
So I don't know if I'm crooked or not. Somebody will.
No, you look fine.
Fine. Okay. So relax. While we're getting set up, we're already set up. Some people are in the room, but I got to find my channel. So somebody help.
You want me to find it for you, babe?
I'm going to. I got the thing here. Your videos, maybe live. There I am, maybe. I do not know. All right. Welcome back. I can't see myself, but you see me, right? Right, Shot Mom?
Yes, I see you.
All
Bob
right.
Miller's here also.
Who is?
Bob Miller.
Bob Miller. Bob Miller, how are you doing? Oh, I'm watching the last week's live stream. Okay. So I'm not even in the right live stream. I should possibly be.
Oh, how funny. You're not on the right one?
I'm not on the right one, but.
It's the one that says Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to keep looking. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Write something to Shop Mom while I figure out what's going on here. I'm going to look for myself. You can tell we haven't done this in a long time. I had the orientation wrong. I don't know how that happened. That happened, we noticed it last time. And it took a while to figure out the orientation. I don't know how it got messed up, but this is the way that we like to roll. Okay, now I can see everybody, Bob Miller. Hello, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. All right, so we're starting just a little bit of trying to figure out what's going on. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving past from yesterday and hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Hello and good morning. So it must be someone where it's morning time right now, but good morning. I'm going to wait a little bit before getting into a lot of different stuff, but we haven't been on in a while, and Shop Mom's been asking for us to come back on, and we've been feeling we need to come back on for a while now, and we tried. So I don't know. Hey Peter, happy Thanksgiving. And we've been trying to come on, and if some of y'all know, couple weeks back, I logged on saying that we'll be doing a live stream. Join us. I did it on Instagram. I did it on different platforms. And just about that time, y'all probably saw me go on live and say, change of plans, family issues, and we're stopping. And well, hey Louis, happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. So the family issues were, we were about to go live and we got a call, and 911, my mom was headed to the hospital, and long story short, she passed. So my mom passed, and it's been tough. It's been real tough, but I'm gonna try to get through this. I think it's helped having a lot of support from a lot of different people, and you'd be surprised, or I would be surprised, and not really not being surprised. Some of the most touching things that really, like, I know it's gonna be okay, and I know that just touching and really meant something was a lot of our YouTube live stream, regulars. I mean, I don't know why, but that was like, whew, man, made a difference. So even though you think you don't make a difference to somebody, you do. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about turkey. What are we going to talk about? I have stuff to talk about to vent, but I don't know. It's the holiday season.
Okay, I just want to say that I feel completely inadequate now because Bob Miller said he made dinner for 72.
72 seasoned citizens. Wow, Bob. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for doing that. That's really important. But wow.
Yeah, Bob. That was 72. That is amazing, and there's still good people out there doing good things. We had our family at the house, but not 72. So that's awesome. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to just vent.
No, we're not going to vent.
We're not going to vent.
We're not going to vent.
Might not even.
We are here for automotive questions.
Yes.
I know it's a small audience. I know a lot of people are out there shopping up, the stores and doing the Black Friday thing. We do not participate in that because it's kind of gross, actually. But we are here for you guys because you guys have been here for us.
Logical spot. Thank you. I will say this is tell everybody you know. I've been telling strangers if it doesn't affect you. I've been telling strangers I love you. So it doesn't hurt anything to say I love you. Don't leave a scenario where you don't. I know it's said over and over again. Don't leave without saying you love you or whatever because you don't know what might happen. Well, I can say that it has helped tremendously to that's not my scenario. It's not the shop mom's Elaine's scenario. I talked to mom three times the last 2 days. We went out on my birthday was November 4th, and my mom took us out to dinner and asked my brother and his wife to go. My brother got married on my birthday. We won't go there. So it's also his anniversary. Well, they had just finished eating and said, "Well, we're just finishing eating. We're eating, so we can't really go out to dinner." And then, if you remember right, I had a black eye from the mic stand from running through the shop with the mic stand to do the live stream, and I was like, "Tell my mom we'll do it next weekend because I got a black eye and." Just all kinds of excuses, because you were like, I'm gonna get up. Once I get home, I like to take a shower and get all of this off. And it's like, anyway, we did it. We said, nope, we're gonna go do it. When we showed up at the restaurant, my brother and his wife were there and said, you know what, we're gonna just sit with y'all and just have a drink, but we're not gonna eat because we just finished eating. Um, we had the best time. Um, my mom sang happy birthday to us, when they bring you a little cake to the table and everybody. It was such a festive time. It was a Mexican restaurant. My mom hadn't been in years and had so much fun that asked for the waiter's name and scheduled us to go back. Her birthday was Tuesday or Wednesday. It was the 21st.
It was the 21st.
It was the 21st. So we were going to go back for my mom's birthday. Had a blast. I mean, margaritas, I'm talking, my mom doesn't drink. And it was fun. It was tons of fun and no regrets. No regrets at all. So I miss my mom. It's weird when when you don't think of things and you just want to pick up the phone and call. And I had, like I said, I just talked to her several times. And I'm calling my mom for an engine tech valve that is no longer available. And one of our customers in another shop was looking for these valves. And, Elaine Shopman gets on the computer and they still have them on the website, but no part numbers. And we're going through several things to find out these valves. And whenever I get frustrated or like no one understands or whatever, pick the phone up, say, Mom, remember these intake valves? And exactly. So I could call someone, part numbers. She was like, poof, just knew every part number there was. Getting older, there's more and more part numbers, but that auto parts was her life. She literally was at the back of the shop doing inventory, started feeling bad, sat down at the desk, and it's you used to think about those daredevils or skydivers that jump from planes with no parachute, and we have one of our customers telling us about a friend, real old, got the dragster out, I think in the 90s, got a front engine dragster out of hanging from his shop, freshened it all up, and started doing vintage racing again. End up at the end of the track, hit the wall, passed away in the dragster. And his daughter and family is saying it's like, that's the way that he wanted to go out. He was happy doing what he wanted to do, and he was happy to the last moment. And I will say that, I guess, about my mom, doing what she loved to the last moment. All right, so what else we got to talk about?
There were actually several questions about that.
Let's answer some questions.
So let's get to some questions.
Yes.
First of all, question. So what's the difference between performance codes, circuit high codes, power supply high?
Codes.
I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but if you want to mull that one over, Flynn wants to know, do you use US seal valve stem seals for your engines?
I don't usually. We've used them in the past for production stuff. I know several shop owners who buy them in bulk, and I think my mom at some point may have even. So I've used them before. Used them a lot. Used them a lot. So it's not that here. I don't. But it's just because generally USC you buy in bulk for engine rebuilders, and they have a lot of different part numbers. It's a good seal. So yeah, I have used them before. But normally we do a restoration in a sense, and one of the things like on the performance end of stuff, everybody used to always want to use a TRW Teflon seal because that was like the number one performance valve seal, and I never like to run a Teflon seal on a street car. So there's a lot of stuff, I like to give the seal, I like to give the guide lubrication if we can. It's a different environment on a blown, injected, a lot of alcohol, nitro or something. You don't want to, it doesn't run that long, so you can put some lubrication there, but you don't want issues, on anything with super high compression, you got to think about it. Oil in the combustion chamber, oil has a different octane rating than fuel does. So you might not be able to find out why you have detonation, what's going on, what's the different, you're checking everything and you shouldn't have detonation. And the first thing we do is we run to the fuel map or the ignition map and we start pulling timing or we start dumping in more fuel. And something as simple as oil in the combustion chamber, like I said, it has a different octane rating than fuel does. So everything that you're thinking about is the fuel should be able to handle that cylinder temperature. You remember, octane rating is just how much heat that fuel can take before it reacts. So, and on the other one about the performance code, I wonder if he's talking tuning codes wise. I mean, that's the only code unless it's an electric car, but like a performance tune, the code for performance. I don't know quite. Give us a little insight on that question. Any other questions? Craig White is here. Hello from down under. I don't know if he's down under. I know he's up yonder. So, hi from the Colgate, Michigan. We're very fortunate that I just turned the AC off for a little bit. This is the Texas Hill Country. This morning it was cool. I had my jacket on, thin, like a windbreaker. And now I'm hot. I always put on a little t-shirt underneath. Now I'm hot. Had the AC on. So we're in the part that in the morning is cool. In the afternoon we're using AC. This is Texas. So anything else? Any other questions? Technical questions?
Nice, short. Gosh, we missed you kind of live stream.
Yes.
But we really do want to kind of try to get back into the swing of things. So you guys let us know what your thoughts are about a regular live stream, maybe every other week. Who knows?
Yeah, we just your Shop Mom. Hope can y'all hear Shop Mom? I can turn Shop Mom's mic, and I still have.
Say hi to Brian. Brian's here, but he can't stay.
Okay, Brian. Hi, Brian.
Brian is the originator of our piece and assembly grease sign off. And
one of
anybody who doesn't know why we do that, Brian SWRXS is the reason we sign off that way.
That is why we say peace and assembly grease, Brian. We've learned so much. It's not like this is very therapeutic for us as well. Not just if some of y'all get some insight from it, also we do it for us. I'm just joking, but it does matter to us. So and Peter wanted to say, and Peter is my screen buddy for the eBay Motors commercials. You all know that we shot an eBay Motors commercial. Well, it was in Peter's shop. eBay had to find a shop that had the right essence, and it was home run. It was the same windows and glass light going through that I love. So it felt very at home there, and Peter was just awesome. He let me go in his toolbox. We don't go into another man's toolbox. And it's a funny story. We won't go that while we're shooting the commercial. Why not? What else I got to talk about? And they have tools that they roll out, and that's, and they're pipe wrenches. And I'm just, saying, I'm a team player, whatever. I know plumbing as well. Is this a plumbing commercial? Let me just change my hat and put on. And they're like, no, what are we talking about? I said, well, these aren't automotive tools. Whoever is in charge of props and bringing in tools, these are all plumbing tools. So these wouldn't be we wouldn't have a pipe wrench in the shop. And there's one of the bottom toolbox for a stubborn nut or bolt, but it's not something that we're going to grab first off. It's a pipe wrench and all these different link pipe wrenches, all these different things. So I just would answer by, I'm a team player, and if we're going to talk plumbing, let's talk plumbing, but let me change my, no, you know. So they tried to bring in, it was, 911, we have to get this stuff done. We only have so much time to shoot. And Peter was gracious enough to, I said, there's toolbox, so there's got to be tools in there, but you have to ask, So anyway, he said, go and just make yourself at home. And we found the tools, of course, in the Snap-on toolbox that I would normally hold when I'm working. So that was authentic. We wanted to, and eBay did say specifically the reason, kind of is no, we want you to be at home. We don't want to make a stupid commercial. We don't want a commercial that doesn't fit. If it's not right, please let us know. So that's kind of what I was like. If you want somebody to read lines, and now they can probably go, he did say that from the beginning. He doesn't read lines, to tell me what you kind of, what the gist of what you want me to say. But if I want to repeat it, and Peter was there, and he asked me to repeat it 3 times, it's going to be 3 versions of the same thing, and it might be all kind of good, but don't let that camera stop, because, and I joked around a little bit. Well, I couldn't say a line. It wasn't fitting, because it was the let's ride, and that's the campaign. But yet I can't say let's ride. Why? Because it's when I ride a motorcycle, I ride a motorcycle. You ride a horse. You don't necessarily ride a car. You drive a car. So it's not let's drive. It's let's ride. So it just wasn't coming out, because I'm like, and they had asked, you know how to ride? Do you know how to ride a motorcycle? I said, yeah, I know how to ride a motorcycle. And they had somebody way better to ride that the motorcycle than I did, but it wasn't working. I just couldn't. And when it's the last part of the commercial, and let's ride, and I just couldn't. I said it better right there. You should have recorded this. Well, Peter stepped up, and so he's in the commercial. He got some credits there, and said it beautifully the way it should be said. So it takes a team. It was something else. It was something else. So it did make it easier to have people like Peter and his partner just to totally, be cool. I felt for the guy with the mic at the end. Oh, hours, poor guy, Anyway.
So, okay, let me just interrupt
Yes.
you briefly, because a little while back, Craig White wanted you to know that he has great news today. He got his flathead running following his 2-year build. Extremely grateful to you for your guidance.
Awesome. And I was thinking about you, I think it was yesterday, maybe this morning. I was thinking about you. Derry, it wasn't that long ago. And it could have been how I'm wondering. So I'm going to want your feedback, because he used the newest technology rings on his flathead. And I've learned some things on flathead is kind of be careful. Don't try to reinvent something. If there's issues with an engine, fix the issues. But if there's nothing wrong with the engine, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, somebody else makes this nice new thing, and somebody makes this new thing, and somebody makes this new thing, and I want to incorporate it. Well, a flathead doesn't necessarily like synthetic oil as much. I'm still playing with it, and then with viscosity, it doesn't make any difference if it's synthetic or petroleum. But I tried some different things in a Bonneville flathead. Bonneville that's going to run at Bonneville. So in certain things, one of the things I always say is don't experiment on a customer's engine. Okay, I never experiment on a customer. If I do something on a customer's engine, it's been proven already. I'm not going to experiment because I want to try. Occasionally, Mark, we partnered together with a compressed air engine. And I still didn't do any experiments that I knew wasn't going to work. But there is no data on what is the ring end gap on a compressed air engine that the inlet air temperature is way below 100 degrees below zero. There's so many different things that the standard you wouldn't, can we tighten up the end gap tighter because it's so cold of an inlet air temperature? So anyway, I want to know, Craig, how the gas ported total seal rings. I just want to I'm going to live.
How do they perform?
Yes, how do they perform? How do they lie? We're going to keep a close eye. Craig, if you don't mind, you're going to be teaching a lot of us if that's the way to go. If a gas ported ring is the way to go on a flathead Ford. And these are some of the things that I think of in my head, just kind of things. A flathead Ford is not like any other kind of engine in the sense, except a Briggs or Stratton. It has low compression, 7.5 to 1 compression. You're going to build a high performance one, 8.5, 9. So you're not talking, the compression is not there like any other engine, but that's the way they are. So a gas ported ring, if y'all don't know what a gas ported ring is, it has, back in the day in the piston, here we go. This is a top fuel piston from Jody Smart's top fuel car. So what we would do, or the manufacturer would do, what we would ask them to do is put little slots, little holes that are drilled into the ringland, right above the little ringland. So the compression would go in those little holes that are drilled. And early on, they were drilled on the top. I can show you some of the smoke unit pistons. Early on, they're drilled on the top. So right here, there's little holes drilled all the way around that goes right into the ringland. As the compression comes up, that pressure pushes the ring out for a better seal. So some of the high compression engines will have a gas ported ring. You won't see a gas ported ring on a street car. Now we're seeing them on flatheads. So this is just going to say. Then they started to, instead of drilling all around here, little holes into the top ringland, because it's only the top ringland that's gas ported, they started to drill sideways, right in the ringland itself. Some say it was easier than up here, still getting a gas ported top ring. Total seal now, you don't have to have the manufacturer make you a custom set of pistons, or you get over to your Bridgeport mill and Dykeman's Blue, do all your little dots, do all your little drilling. They make a ring that has, like if you took a file and just filed these little lines in the ring, but they're not taking a file and they're filing, there's these grooves in the top ring. So when you put it on, it's a gas ported ring. So it's a gas ported ring now. You don't need a gas ported piston. So awesome. Also, it's a lighter ring. So steel being heavier than aluminum, if you're going to drill either of the two, you get more advantage by drilling the steel. There's many reasons that a gas ported ring is awesome. I want to know, is it awesome on a flathead? Is it advantage? It may not be any advantage. It may be an advantage. It may last forever. So everybody from this day forward, if it works, could be thanking Craig for stepping out and being the first to do it. I don't know anybody else has done this to a flathead Ford. Scott Van Ivert, thank you so much. This is one of those many who reached out to me when this with my mother's passing, and like I said, some of the most touching that meant something were our viewers. So anyway, Scott, don't make me cry, Scott. Stop it.
I don't actually think of them so much as our viewers as I think of them as our friends. We really have forged a neat little community.
Have you heard that for some? I don't think. Has anybody said that they could hear you, or not hear you? But exactly, exactly. More like our community, our extended family.
Yeah, they're a bunch of weirdos like us.
Yeah. Y'all will just sit around and talk engine stuff or general how to be nice to people stuff. All right. Do we have any more questions?
I haven't seen any more questions, although Craig did say he'll keep everybody updated over the next couple of weeks about how the flat is going.
Awesome, and I'm glad you got that fired up. Lewis is coming up right behind yours, and this has been a tough year. This has been a tough for everyone, but I'm just focusing on what's in here right now. Don't really want to take in anything else, and I don't know if I'll say it, don't everyone take in anything else. We're not giving up. My mom wouldn't want us to give up on machine work, but there is going to be some changes coming up, and I don't know. But
okay, but we're not going into the hypotheticals right now. We're here to answer questions. So if anybody's got something pressing on their mind,
yes,
go ahead and ask, because if we're just gonna go over our plans, which is a trigger word, I remember. If we're just gonna go over plans, we might as well just cut it short. Okay.
Roma's asking, glad we're back on the live streams. How's Dino is awesome. All that we're doing left, and that's when we stop. This has been a crazy time. Is tuning the software and the water valve to on the load control. So we're already using it, breaking in cams, doing you're running engines. I have one on it right now, and it's just a matter of our dyno was a little bit more sophisticated. I shouldn't say a little bit, way more sophisticated than a regular your Fisher Price, my first dyno or whatever. Then I joke that way, but most dynos control the water going in, or they have one water control valve on it. Our dyno was Toyota's TRD's development dyno, so they would run an engine for 40 days non-stop under load. And to be able to do that, as you load a motor, the water temperature goes up. As the water temperature goes up with a liquid, the viscosity changes. So if you want to have data that's really sophisticated data, and not just in general, it made this much horsepower, but you're comparing how much horsepower it made in hour 1 and hour 38. Or if you're running a race, they would actually put an engine on there and run the race by loading and unloading, just like a clutch would, or a torque converter would on an engine. So there's two water valves, and as the water temperature increases, if you're running it and you're holding a load on for an extended period of time, they would actually add more water on the top end and then open up the water on the valve end and still keep the same amount of load but cool the temperature down. As soon as the temperature would come back down, so these two valves are always working with each other. And most dynos and this software and this new updated water controller controls one valve. Have to talk to them, and they can write code and do something special for us to have dual water controls. So I'm playing with the controls. A lot of people just control the water going in the dyno. Steve Morris, which I just love Steve Morris, you know, and he puts stuff out there, and he's really doing a lot of stuff like helping, you know, in putting stuff out there. He puts stuff out there, as if he blows an engine up or something happens, he doesn't hide it. He puts it out there and shows it off what happened, what might happen, to help somebody else that it doesn't happen again. So we're all learning together, and it's kind of neat. And his dynos, he's converted over to the Your Dyno software and controller that we have, and he likes to control the water going in. The water going out, just puts a valve from Home Depot or a hardware store to control that water going out, the restriction, and he just controls the water in. That's my next thing. I think I had actually planned during the holidays to come up here and try that setup and see if, because we're controlling the water going out. So anyway, that's our dyno, but it's fun having it, up and running. There's no issues with electrical or water or anything else like that anymore. So, all right.
Bob Miller wants to know, what is the highest compression you can achieve in a drag race engine, naturally aspirated? And then Adrian is apparently asking, remember his was a question before about the tune?
Mm-hmm.
He's asking about a Hemi tick. And Julio's here. Hi, good to see you.
So you're asking about a chip, about the tune?
I'm assuming so.
On a chip, okay. I'm gonna go. What's the highest compression that I know? I mean, naturally aspirated. You can do 13. You can do. Especially nowadays with E85. That's what's going to be the amount that's the highest really. It's the physical, dome that you can put in a cylinder or combustion chamber, or the physical, how to get your static compression, but your dynamic compression is how much air you can actually get in the cylinder and what psi you can actually produce. So sometimes static compression and dynamic compression, it's almost like the dynamic compression is more important. Not certain to say almost, but it really is, because it's running. So that's when the engine is running, the air that it can go in, and that's controlled by valve timing. So, but you can get it up there, especially now. We didn't have this back in the day. We didn't have E85. There's good and there's bad for E85, but I get why people are throwing a lot of E85 into something. It's because E85, it's, a lot of alcohol. tons of alcohol. Alcohol, if you get some, rubbing alcohol, put some on you, it's cold. It actually is chilled. Well, heat loves to go to something cold. So E85 will extract a lot of heat from a combustion chamber. So you can put a lot of boost. There's people that are doing 10, 11, 12 and a half to 1 compression on a boosted engine, dumping a lot of E85. Be careful though, because if you don't tell your machinist, and I kind of have, this is going to get to what I was going to be talking about earlier, but I'm not going to get to it because we're not going to, is when you go get your engine done, I know that this is not happening. It's getting quiet because it's like, how can I say it? And there's no easy way to say it, but just say the truth. And they're not going to answer because they don't care. And I shouldn't say they don't care. They have to get engines out the door. They have a backlog of 2 weeks, or they have a backlog of how long. You go in there and say, I want it bored. They're going to hone it. They're not even going to tell you. You don't even ask for bore and hone. You're going to say, one of my last conversation with my mom was, trying to educate the guys on the counter to let them know it's not just simple. When a guy calls you, how much you charge a bore block? Well, they're shopping for dollar numbers. Me personally, I don't. You're at the wrong shop. I tell you right now, if you're shopping for dollar numbers, you're at the wrong shop. Because the first thing I'm gonna ask you, well, I can't tell you that. Are you running 85? Are you running regular fuel? All these different questions are going to matter on the hone. Okay, so like the last conversation we had, my mom, one of the last, our business meetings where they're going to call around 8 people. You're the only one that's asked them, well, hold on, what kind of fuel you're running? And no one else asked. Guess what? It doesn't matter what you charge. If they care, guess where they're going to go? If nothing else, they're going to call the other shops and now ask them, well, why didn't you ask me about it? Because they go, it doesn't matter. Well, if you watch any of the videos with Lake Speed, it does matter. Because the hone holds the cylinder. The cylinder pressure needs to be held in the cylinder, right? So the more fuel that you're dumping into the cylinder, you're dumping a lot of E85, you're dumping a lot of fuel in that motor. The more fuel that you dump in that cylinder is washing all of the oil off the cylinders. Cylinders and rings with no oil, that's no bueno. That's not good. I guess it's bad. I don't know how. What it's there's no bueno. That's just not going to go. That is not okay. That's not okay because you have no lubrication. You have no ring seal. Besides, you're going to tear up the rings and the cylinders with no lubrication. You're going to just tear everything up. But you're not going to have ring seal. So the more, even the guys with the diesels, and they're all like, even Cummins has a supplement. Stop sending these engines back saying that they're defective. They're not defective. Y'all put a tuner on it. Okay, y'all put one of those Billy Bob tuners. Ask Gail. Gail will tell you. You don't need to see black smoke, rolling coal, bunch of bull. So you dump a lot of fuel into a cylinder. Crank up the boost and dump a lot of fuel, and it's going to make power. But at what price? The exhaust temperature is going to go sky high. But what happens with the diesels, with the programmers, not a Banks one, and I'm not saying that's the only good one, but instead of having to go look around, you can pretty much guarantee get a Banks one, and you're on the top of the list. You're going to have, like Jim Cole says, methanol. People running a lot of methanol. So that washes the cylinder. You crank up a programmer on a diesel, dumps a lot of stuff in there, and you don't have ring seal anymore. So you need an aggressive ring seal. It seems like back in the day, they look like what we used to do back in the day for a chrome ring. Y'all old timers, y'all gonna know that's rough. You can hear your cylinder, your rings in the cylinder. You can hear it's rough. Not to worry, it's not that rough when it's running. Oil is going to get in those grooves, make a nice ring seal, protect your cylinders, protect your rings, and all that fuel that goes through there may wash some of it off. There's still oil in there. So the more boost, really the more fuel, because to me, boost, you're going to bring in fuel with it. The more fuel you run in your cylinder, the rougher the cylinder needs to be. That doesn't mean it's going to be that rough when it's running. It just means that it needs to be that rough to hold the oil. So, okay. What else? What else? Did I go too crazy?
Jeff Bonifield is asking, are we going to see you hanging out with Lake Speed at PRI this year? And while that is still a topic of conversation around here, it's been a really rough year, so no promises. But I can tell you this, if Danny gets there, he will be hanging out with Lake Speed Jr., and I'll be looking for the off button on both of them.
There you go. In fact, we were just looking at tickets. So here's the thing is on PRI this year. We have an engine that is going to be at PRI. Mark's compressed air supercharged Camaro has been invited to be at PRI, and there's a little bit difference of the cars that are in the booth, which some of the best cars out there ever are in the booth. But Brodex or whoever is brings in a car that's showing off their product. So awesome, you got invited from Brodex because of all the heads that they sold. And I'm not picking on Brodex. It could be Harley, it could be Edelbrock, it could be anyone, which is awesome. But when you get invited to, I think there's 15 cars that they pick, and what they usually do is they pick a car that's cutting edge technology. Some of that's the movers and shakers of happening that's going on that gets invited. So that to me is better because no one paid you to be there because to be in a booth that you have to do for a sponsor. And I'm not saying anything is badass because if I was even in a booth with a sponsor, I'd be happy to be there. But Mark got invited. The car is gonna be there, and talking to my mom on my birthday and talking to my mom before this, but on my birthday we were gonna go to PRI, and the reason I was gonna go to PRI because my mom used to go to PRI every single year. She's been to PRI more. I've never been to PRI. I do this SEMA thing more. My mom would do the PRI thing, buy equipment. Just so my mom's like, I've been to every PRI, and she's been to many, many PRIs. And so as we were talking this year, I'm like, let's go. Let's go. My mom's convincing me to go. And, and this is before we even knew that Mark's car was going to be there. And I was like, this is going to be fun because I'm going to take my mom and I'm going to take her and I'm going to show her around to all my buds to Lake Speed to if Gail's gonna be there so I was really looking forward to showing my mom off. And I shouldn't say showing my mom off. If you watched the video that I did, a celebration of life, my mom was starting this business at 63, knew this business, lived this business. Auto parts was her thing. Machine shops was her thing. Many of a drag car and many of a circle track car championships in San Antonio area had a Mission motor in it. If you ran a Ford, it most definitely had a Mission motor in it. Not only Ford's a track champion runs a Mission Auto Parts engine. Jim Cole runs a circuit track. I mean, everything. We used to go to Vegas just to watch my mom's modifieds. They were going for the championship. They were in Las Vegas, so it was gonna be fun. It was gonna be a lot of fun, and my mom convinced me that we were let's go, and I'm like, it's gonna go. Then we find out that Mark's car is gonna be there. Our engine's gonna be there. And my mom is not going to be there, so we're kind of like a lot of things have gone on. This
has really been a really weird year for us, and even at this point, we have family members who are not going to be with us for long. So.
Yes, so in one thing I kind of go with, what would mom want? Mom, and this is some interesting stuff. Not that it matters or matters to me. My mom wanted you. You didn't miss a day of work. There was one day that Mission Auto Parts was closed, and that was on my mom's funeral, and because she wasn't there to do something about that. But she did not want a obituary, and there was tons of people, and she's like, no, I don't want anybody there who doesn't know me. If you knew me, I passed and. But she didn't want somebody to read about it, see it, because there would have been a million people, and there was tons of people there. I mean, the head of the CarQuest from back in the day was there. There was a lot of people there, but there was friends. There were friends that knew her. So there was a lot of things that she did not want. She wanted simple. So it was at the gravesite. It was just immediate family, not even friends. She didn't want. A lot of stuff was weird that I see in her wishes. Or like mom didn't want funeral procession, didn't want a whole bunch of stuff. So my mom would have wanted stuff to go on and I know that. But that being said, it is close to PRI, and we're just finally coming on, and being able to talk about my mom. So I don't know. I don't know. We're, wish us luck. It wasn't our discussions today, this morning, and at noon. All right, what else is happening?
Don't see, although Jeff did say that he saw Mark's Camaro in St. Louis. He thought it was nice. And I think nice is probably understating it, but I'm a little biased.
Well, thanks, Jeff.
Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, we'll wrap it up because we don't need to keep anybody from their Black Friday madness or just a happy Friday kind of decompressed time.
So, I don't know if has anybody said they can hear you?
No one has said anything.
and okay, so I'm getting ready. So, what I said, I guess we're gonna cut it short. Well, I don't know about short. We just we don't do this enough. So there's not a time. And Bob Miller says that they can hear you. So that's great. Thank you, everybody. Just thank you. I want to just we wanted to come on and just tell everybody hug somebody, tell somebody you love them. You're not sometimes you think that or assume that people on this side of the screen or anybody on camera or anybody just has the best life in the world. We occasionally argue too. There's I'll spill my coffee too. I do. My mom passed away just like your mom passed away or somebody's mom passed away. We have all of the same things. We have bills. I point at my shoes all the time, and I did it right there. And she says, "Why you keep doing that?" People assume a lot of things, and I said, "Those are really my shoes. Yes, those are really my shoes. We don't. We're just like you. We're ain't no different than you. So sometimes."
Except we won't all use the word ain't in a sentence.
Oh, ain't? Did I say ain't?
Yes.
Oh, I said ain't. So we won't all use the word ain't in a sentence. That's just me. So maybe some of y'all will come on and say you do it too. I don't know. But I just wanted y'all to know that that no, this isn't. We're human. We hurt, we bleed, we cry just like y'all do. We have lost just like y'all do.
And we laugh and we share joy.
Yes.
And we remember good times. And being here with you guys reminds us that there are still good times.
Okay, so all right, and Jeff, hang in there. We might get to meet you at PRI. I'm gonna still push forward, but we'll see. And so yes, what
Venom, my buddy Venom. You know what? You guys really do provide a whole bunch of much needed levity in our lives. You really do. This has been fun. I'm gonna sign off because. Yeah, I have tamale making on the schedule this weekend. For those of you, Jim Cole, who think about tamales at this time.
Well, Rose, I don't know if you just got here or not. We're about to say goodbye, but we love you, Rose, and thank you. And I'm glad that my mom, when I contacted my mom about what Rose was doing, teaching on engine building. My mom was all on board, and between the two of us, gathered some stuff together to make it happen. So I'm glad you got the last of my mom's love in her sharing. Lawnmower, I'm glad you came on right now because I cried more when I read your stuff. It was everybody. I mean, like Bob.
Did you see what he put? The panaderia across the street has closed, so now he has to look for a new tamale place.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what we're going to be doing. Tamales. That's what we're starting. And that's another thing is that my mom was going to come over so that we use our grandmother's recipe. So
no, your grandmother. My grandmother didn't make tamales.
Her grandmother didn't make tamales. My grandmother's tamales. So my mom's original goddess. In fact, the goddess Molino is still in Harlingen. If you're in Harlingen, driving by, go on F Street, go by and see my aunt, my cousins. My aunt Eva said Danny told you to go there. But anyway. that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on family, and we're gonna make tamales, and we're gonna make tamales the way that my mom would have wanted us to still keep doing what we're doing. All
And
right.
we'll try to plan to be back December 1st, Friday the 1st.
All right. My grandmother said, "Darn frijoles is on fire." Okay. Well. All right. So Shaman said we're gonna try to be back December 1st. That's a Friday.
Yes.
December 1st. Like I said, I'm just drinking water because I don't need anything right now, and I think that's it. This has been fun. It's been therapeutic. Thanks for being our therapy. Because really, whatever we say to do, it is our therapy. So, all right, I'm gonna hit my final piece and assembly grease. Love all y'all. Remember, tell everybody, strangers, you love them. I love all of y'all. So we'll see you December 1st. Maybe we'll be here forever
Because I don't know where to turn it
yeah,
off.
because Shaman doesn't know how to hit the button, so we may be here for a little bit longer
No.
until December 1st.
Okay, you may be here. I'm going.
She's getting ready to go. There's the little X button. Peace and assembly grease, everybody.